Brandon Sanderson has proved that his Kickstarter success from a couple of years ago was not some kind of fluke. He made over $41 million. It was like the biggest Kickstarter I've ever seen, at least in terms of books or anything like that. Crazy stuff. And from over 180,000 supporters. That's a lot of backers right there. Now, Brandon Sanderson has been like the last hope of traditional publishing in fantasy. There's really no other big names out here other than him that come out with regular books at this point that people are like have as appointment reading. He's really it. And he's done a great job, of course, of cultivating that fan base in several ways. Of course, finishing the Wheel of Time helped, but he's been pumping out books like an old pulp writer. I mean, you can't blink without another Brandon Sanderson book coming out. If you're a reader and a fan of his, it's like, oh, I finished the book and he wrote it faster than I could read it. And that's pretty amazing. Not a lot of authors are like that. We're living in an era of George R.R. Martin. How many days are we waiting since the last book? I think over 4,000 days. Crazy stuff over there. But Brandon Sanderson's not like that. And moreover, he's very respectful of fans. He's kind of a little different than your average author fare in that he's just delightful with people. He gives a lot of access. He'll answer your questions. He loves to hang out, and he seems very genuinely appreciative of the fact that you read. It's really a breath of fresh air out there with all the egos that you see out in the publishing industry. So it's no wonder he did really well. Now, in Kickstarter, he, of course, had a little different business strategy which came afterwards, which a lot of people didn't see and report on after the Kickstarter was done. I'm going to get into that and then how that helped him today in just a moment. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator myself. And of course, I have my books available on my online bookstore. Make it easy for you. This is right here, and this is a link in the description below. And you can check out everything I've got. I've got a whole big steampunk fantasy series. If you like Brandon Sanderson's stuff, I get a feeling you're going to dig this because I've got kind of a similar pacing vibe. I've built a cool world that is expanding quite a way. And of course, you can grab all those books here. I've got a bunch of science fiction as well. And actually, digitally, I've got a full-on fantasy book, which I never released anywhere else. This is my website exclusive. You can check out really cheaply if you want to check out my book too. So grab these, please. Support our channel, support our efforts over here. And I really appreciate you guys who read. You are the most important people to me, and I think you're awesome. So there you go. All right, so this is from Fandom Pulse, my pop culture news website. I reported on the fact that Brandon Sanderson has this today. And of course, if this is not your appointment reading, definitely do make sure Fandom Pulse is on your daily reading list because we've got a lot going on. Now, this came out, and he didn't do it on Kickstarter this time around. He did it on a site called BackerKit. Now, I use BackerKit for all of my Kickstarter campaigns too. I've actually got a BackerKit store up for my All Eyes on Ashley right now as well. And what it does is I put my back catalog on there and, of course, some different things to allow people to come in from the customer base and, of course, check things out. When you use it, like most people use it as a Kickstarter sort of after thing. So like when Kickstarter only lasts 30 days, you then have BackerKit, and BackerKit keeps pre-orders open. And on top of that, you direct your Kickstarter backers back there. And what you do is make sure they confirm their orders. There's a really cool fulfillment option on there. And what it really helps me on, and probably helps Brandon on as well, is it breaks down package types and, of course, handles all the postage and stuff, makes it really easy on the creator, which I appreciate. It's great service. But it also has those customers go into your online store so you can get that back catalog. Now, Brandon Sanderson used this after the original Kickstarter campaign to sell leatherbound books of his stuff, which he's been doing on his own website for years. But he had this captive audience of 180,000 people that came here to fill out their survey. And it's like, hey, do you want these leather books as well? Came very close to doing it, but they're very expensive. So I opted out of it at the end of the day. Now here, he has gone back to BackerKit, and he's already almost to 15 million. He was at 14 million this morning. And within one day, he directed those 180,000 plus people from the original Kickstarter on that mailing list into BackerKit again. So since they're already signed up for the website, it makes it very easy for people to purchase this stuff. It's a really good business model, and he did a great job. So he bypassed Kickstarter this time around, and he just went with his audience, which is great if you're at this size. And of course, is selling these beautiful leather-bound books of Words of Radiance. Now, I want these as well. And again, the pricing on this is just probably not going to allow me to do it unless you guys want to send me $325 super thanks down in the description below so I can pick these up. That'd be awesome. But he's done this with a secret novel included in this, and of course, the Words of Radiance leatherbound. Now, leatherbound, as a rule, you can't bind these giant tomes into it. That's why he splits them into two books, similar to what he did for the first novel too. And of course, you can get the first book on here also. which is he has the Way of Kings leatherbound on here as well, so you can get both of those going as well, which is like, gosh, it's so tempting, but the amount of money like to spend on this is just a little too much for me. But still, this is pretty good, and it shows his backers are very loyal. It shows that he's crushing it, and of course, great business model, great repackaging of old books. He's selling some new books with this for getting people in on that too. It gives a little something for everybody, and that's kind of like the takeaway that a lot of modern writers don't do in mainstream publishing. They're not really writing for everybody at this point. They're writing for that niche minority community, which is just meant to, of course, make the publishers happy, not the actual readers at the end happy. So nobody's really building anything like Brandon Sanderson has anymore, and that's part of the problem. Now, if Brandon Sanderson can do this and get away from traditional publishing, I think that's great, because it, of course, gets rid of any constraints that he would have writing-wise on that level too, which I think is a good thing. And at the end of the day, too, it hurts traditional publishing, because if he's doing this, he doesn't need to work for them, and he can't carry their entire company to force all their diversity initiatives that they're going to push, because they don't have the funds from Brandon Sanderson to do so anymore. Interesting stuff. So we're going to see traditional publishing dying out even further as this business model takes off. And of course, I love it and wish Brandon Sanderson the success. Hopefully, we can raise the funds to get there so I can back it too. But if I can't, I hope he makes millions anyway. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. Of course, check out my books. You know, if a bunch of people buy full sets of my books, let's see. You can get all of them. And then if I sell like 2 sets of all of them, maybe I can buy the Brandon Sanderson. Oh my gosh, I need to stop thinking about this. I'll see you guys soon.